Hey, what's up, house groups? So this week we're continuing our series through the book of Colossians, and Mike, he kind of walked us through this section in chapter 2 where Paul is basically just kind of telling us to watch out for this misguided view of religion that's based on human traditions and superstitions rather than on Jesus. And he talked about just how easy it is for us to fall into this trap. And that's kind of what we've been talking about for the past few weeks. Like, there's this lie that we live by that says that if we're good enough, if we do enough, like whatever that means in our own head, we check all these boxes, then God will love us. And so Paul is saying that we should watch out for that. Like, watch out for this tendency to feel like you're undeserving of this gift and that you need to make up for it in order to be able to receive it. Because we already know that's true, right? Like, if you're sitting in a house group tonight, like I'm sure you've heard before in your life, that the grace and forgiveness of Jesus is a free gift that we don't deserve, but we're given anyway because of who God is, not because of what we've done. And over the past few weeks, I feel like I've really been hammering that idea home. Like, it's not about our performance, it's about God's performance. And it's done. Like, he did it once and for all. It's complete, finished, forever and always. All we have to do is accept the gift and follow him. But I think we have trouble accepting it freely, right? And I feel like that's like the big question. Like, if there's just one question on the list for tonight and for the last few weeks, it would be like, what is it that gets in the way of you fully being able to accept God's gift of salvation? And for all of us, it might be different little things, but what stuck out to me from Sunday and what I want to talk about tonight is this idea of control. Like, our cultural control problem that leaks its way into our own personal spiritual control problem. Like, I love the distinction that Mike made between the Western world and the rest of the world on Sunday. And I can kind of confirm this from the places that I've been and seen and the people that I've met outside of the West who, they just seem to rely heavily on the spiritual realm. And they have this deep desire for it too, like a real hunger and thirst for something beyond the physical, because I don't know, I feel like we can all feel that there's something more, right? And Jesus came to kind of confirm that, to say yeah, you're right, let me show you and bring you into all that you were created for beyond what you can see around you. But that's just the way, the reality of our world. That's why the underground church in China is exploding, why Christianity is growing in the Middle East and Asia and Latin America, because there's this hunger and thirst that can only be quenched by Jesus. But in the Western world, I don't know, we know better, right? We know that faith isn't being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. Faith is certainty in what I can know and achieve. And then I will have faith in myself for knowing and being good enough. And anything that we can't know or control, I think we just ignore. That's what Mike talked about on Sunday. It's just easier that way, which is why it's so easy to fall for this moderated religion like the Pharisees Paul is warning us about being like. It feels safer to be able to just check a box, say you accomplished something, feel good about yourself, and move on. That's a controllable circumstances, so it feels safe. But it's not the gospel. It's not faith as described in the New Testament. It's like Mike said on Sunday, it's a pattern of running on a metaphorical treadmill, just thinking that it will solve all of our problems and it'll get us further down the right path, but actually it just takes us nowhere. And when that doesn't work, we might try a different treadmill to see if that one does the trick, but we still end up in the same place, just not feeling good or worthy enough and wondering what we need to do to fix it. And if I'm being honest, from a pastoral lens, I think that's a hard part. That's the trouble with preaching the message of Jesus to a bunch of people in the Western world. We hear it and we're like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's a free gift. I can't do anything to earn it. It's already been given. I know I have this tendency to fall into this modified gospel. Okay, so now tell me, what's my next step? What do I need to do to fix that? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Which is just it's steeped in irony, but that's how our brains work. That's the culture that we live in. So I'll just say this, what do we need to do? Surrender. Completely. And I know we don't always love that answer, but that's it. Like, it's as simple as that. Surrender, remind yourself, and truly believe that the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus is sufficient and that we belong fully and we are fully loved. Like, quit holding on to whatever it is that is sitting on the throne of your heart that's demanding all of your attention and worship and taking you away from your Savior. Like, get rid of that. Surrender that stuff away. Surrender your life. And so the question, like, what is that thing for you? What are you holding tightly to? What are you trying to control in your life? I don't know exactly, but it's probably something that you're clinging tightly to and that you're seeking to control in your life because it makes you feel safe and a little more secure and better. But whatever that is, like, please talk about that tonight in group. Like, don't let it linger. Name it and surrender. Jesus, you are sufficient. Nothing else can get us there. Surrender, surrender, surrender.